But we realized fairly early on that really wasn't our passion.
Hey guys, we have with us now Dan Pipitone. He's here to talk about TradeZero and answer some of the questions that we have for him. So Danny, thank you for joining me today.
As always, Mo, thanks for having me. Appreciate you inviting me.
So first question is, what inspired you to start TradeZero and what sets it apart from other platforms?
Great. So my partners and I'm a co-founder, John Muscatella, John Ferrara, two longtime friends, longtime business partners. We had a firm called Noble Trading. We started it in 1999, ran it very successfully for 11 years. We sold it to Lightspeed. They're still around today in 2010. We'd started working on our direct market access platforms, later iterations that we're actually using today at TradeZero. And we saw that after we sold Noble Trading to Lightspeed, this was in 2010, we started working on our platforms. We had intended on building a business where we were going to white label trading platforms to broker-dealers like the one we just sold, small to mid-sized firms that didn't have their own technology, and that was what we were going to do. But we realized fairly early on that really wasn't our passion.
Right.
Brokerage, offering the ability to interact with what we consider the gold standards of capital markets, the U.S. equity and option markets, was really our calling. So in 2013, I will note, before our friends at Robinhood, we were actually live. The first iteration of TradeZero was live, launched out of the Cayman Islands, offering commission-free trading to the U.S. markets for retail investors. We launched that in 2013 out of the Cayman Islands. And that didn't go anywhere because we didn't get the right license. We had a partner on the ground there. We didn't get the right license, so 2 years later, we launched TradeZero Inc. out of the Bahamas.
Well, how did you find, like, how did the idea come to you? Like, after you sold Noble, you're like, yeah, I wanna actually go and start.
What happened, great question. What happened was commission-free. Like, my partners and I always saw a pathway to commission-free because when you're involved with the day trading community, if you're a day trader, anyone knows who routes their own orders, all of the exchanges, they used to be called ECNs, have maker-taker models where they'll either pay you to post an order or they'll pay you to take an order. So we always knew the bandwidth and the capacity to offer a commission-free trade existed if you had the technical know-how of how to send the orders in the right situation in order to offset any fees and create margin for the firm. So we were always involved with rebates and paying people to trade, essentially, especially early on, those active guys that we were passing those rebates through when we were charging a commission and passing the rebates through. But as those rebates became bigger, we said, you know what, why not offer commission-free? The ability is there, high volume, very low margin business, and so that was the idea.
How has TradeZero evolved its founding, and what new features, services has the company introduced since?
Great. So we've evolved by expanding the offering to different geographies. As you know, we launched TradeZero America, where you and I met in 2019. Although we had a beta program for
2018.
2018 before that. We launched in Canada this year. So we've really been looking forward to spreading the word on commission-free active trading with a special and particular focus on short sale facilitation. Short selling as a business line, as an investment strategy, is not something that we set out to do. Our locates offering and the whole treatment that we have around short selling really came out of, and I hesitate to even say this, but it's true, came out of the clearing firm that we were using at the time. We still use them, Vision Financial Markets. Their easy to borrow list was terrible. But it wasn't until we brought that ability into the platform that a real kind of business was born out of that. So out of a problem, out of a lemon, we made some lemonade, and a whole entire business was born out of that.
Yeah, so part of that is really the sell back feature that we have on the short locates. Just briefly tell us, how did that even come up on your mind? Because nobody in the industry does it.
That is a key differentiator for us, Mo, and I'll tell you, talking through that, the first thoughts of that, we actually sat down with some stock loan people who had been doing this for 30 plus years. and it was weird that they didn't think about it. I don't know. It just,
Right.
So we came up with this because one day, this is out of TradeZero America, I believe. We had a customer who had a lot of shares located on a stock that we couldn't get any more shares on.
Right.
And this person lost all their money.
Right.
Sad. But it was like 35,000 shares, I remember, and I was like, it would be so great to be able to
Right.
reapply those to the next person.
Because basically they're gone. If he
was
finished the
it.
trading at 12 o'clock, the shares are locked in with him for the day.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So it makes sense.
Ran it by legal and compliance about, reapplying that to another account in a way that we just wanted the shares. And so out of that came a discussion on how we can facilitate this better.
Yeah.
How we can give the person the ability when in that same situation where, it didn't work out for them, but
Right.
they still have this thing that they've paid for, which at the end of the day we consider an asset. Why not give them the ability to monetize that?
Right.
And so out of this came the ability for us to start talking about the sellback feature on the locates, marking them for credit. And we actually have a lot of
Right.
functionality that we're going to be coming out with this year, really revolving around that key differentiator.
Awesome. I always tell traders, your short selling strategy on a hard to borrow means nothing if your borrower can get the shares for you.
That's it. I say it
it's
all the
just-
time.
Right. Yeah, I picked it from you.
One thing to be long and wrong.
Right.
But it's another thing to see a pattern, to see a setup.
Absolutely.
Know this thing is going to go down, and then not have the ability to get the shares.
Absolutely. Especially in this market, we're in the end of 2022 and it's all down.
And for
downtrend,
us, just as an MO,
Right.
and I don't mean Mo, modus operandi from the Mother Latin, we try to empower folks, individual people, with abilities that institutions have. So it's not so much for us about, short selling is it? No, but the hedge funds use it, institutions use it. You should have it too. Why not? Right? And so it's trading from 4 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. Previous
Right.
to now up until a year ago, only the biggest institutions had that ability.
Right.
Why not put it in the individual's desk?
Absolutely.
Options trading, multi-asset class. So doing the types of things, giving them access to licensed individuals, doing the types of things that we feel, if you were an institution or a super high net worth individual, you had lots of options to get access to things.
Right.
But as a smaller investor or a smaller trader, you didn't. So that's just kind of what we try to do as a company, is try and facilitate some of the abilities that higher net worth individual and institutions have, and provide those to our customers.
Okay. All right. So Danny, on to the next one. What kind of traders does TradeZero cater to, and what tools and resources does the platform offer to support them?
Great. We cater to the active trader. And that could be someone who trades maybe, once every couple of days,
Right.
or someone who trades once every couple of seconds, that actively. But someone who is minimally looking to see what the markets are doing on a daily basis, I think is sort of our target at a minimum. For investors, buy and hold folks, people who need to do lots of research before making an investment, we're probably not for you, for that type of investor. But for those who are looking to figure out trading, who are looking to be a little bit more active and want to have the tools and abilities to navigate that, those are the people that we like to speak to.
Right.
And in terms of the tool set, I covered it kind of in the last question. It's the pre and post.
Right.
It's market access.
Right.
Right? The ability, if you have the bandwidth and capacity to understand when and where to route your order in a particular situation, we'll give that to you happily. If you don't want to be involved, you just want to not pay for trading, we'll give that to you as well, whatever you want. Giving you access to the shorts, long, short. We shouldn't be in the way of your trade. The broker-dealer should be someone who empowers you, who provides you with the access and the tools for you to do what you want to do or not want to do.
Right.
And so it's a short sale facilitation, and it is the marriage of multi-asset class in all of our platforms, web, mobile, and desktop. The fact that all three speak to each other, so if you do a trade on one, it transfers over to the other in real time. These are all abilities and advantages that we offer. And again, they really speak to the facilitation of the active trader. We don't believe that people are going to day trade on mobile necessarily.
Right.
And so we see it more of as a take it with you platforms. We've kind of built things to align with that.
Right. Right. And in terms of like investors that trade, that are active trading, because some people, holding
Sure.
shares of Tesla and Apple for a long time, but they also want to take advantage of being an active trader.
Right.
I'm sure TradeZero can also sort
Yes,
of
of
house
course.
them
Of
and
course.
be able to do that. So
We're actually seeing, that's been actually a new trend.
Right.
Second half of this
Yeah.
year, where we are seeing people build some core portfolios and then kind of trading around those. Where
Right.
that's not something that we really have seen in the past.
Right,
As
right.
much as we have now.
yeah, well, a lot of people are shifting strategies,
That's right.
come into this direction of this market. Who knows what happens
Some
2023?
uncertainty for
Absolutely. So, Danny, could you discuss any notable milestones or achievements that TradeZero has reached for this year or previous years?
So this year, I'm happy to say, in January, we got licensed by IROC, that's the regulatory body up in Canada, and we launched fully in March. So we're now running, a Bloomberg ad campaign running in Canada, really out there for twofold. One, telling folks that we're out there and we exist, and two, sort of the benefits of short selling and why that is something that you should be minimally thinking about.
Right.
Because that's really something that we do a better job of that most at facilitating. Other milestones this year, we have been in the approval process with FINRA to get it approved to be a clearing firm. So we just got approval from FINRA, I want to say a week ago.
Right.
Literally, we've been at this for quite some time. So we're looking forward to, in first quarter of next year, hopefully being able to clear equities and options out of a TradeZero owned clearing firm. So I'm really excited about that. At some point in the future, our affiliate businesses will all clear through there,
Right.
Which would be a great thing for us and for our customers. Eliminate some friction.
So what are some of the benefits that clients should see, if they will see that going self-clearing?
So for us, as it relates to things like, checking accounts, debit cards, we're gonna have a lot more control over like the banking relationship and how that looks to our customers. As it relates to multi-asset class, specifically when we talk about the movement of funds from SIPC insured accounts, like for equities and options, and talking about non-SIPC insured accounts like crypto, when we are fully in that seat of clearing the trades and having the direct banking relationship, it's going to make the flow of funds to our end user customers that much better. Because at the end of the day, the holy grail for us, and I'm sure for our customers too, is if you're looking to trade digital and traditional finance, you want to have access to your money at all times. Right? You have $10,000 in your account, you buy $6,000 worth of Apple, you sell it, you want to take that whole 10 and buy a piece of Bitcoin.
Right.
And then you take that and you sell it. Now you should be able to buy your Apple call options if that's what you want to do.
How does TradeZero stay ahead of industry trends and compete with other trading platforms?
Great question, Mo. It's really talking to our customers, Mo. I mean, they are the best source of feedback. Many of these people have accounts at multiple places. So when you're hearing feedback from them, it's not just about, it's not in a vacuum.
Right.
It is feedback based on experiences at other places, the good, the bad, the ugly, the great. And we try and take all of that into consideration in the build out of our platforms and also the modifications to the business offering. Listening to our customers is the key one. The other, I would say, for me personally, it's attending industry events, seminars, attending webinars, listening to what the top folks are doing in the industry. Not necessarily even the competition, but what the top gurus, some of the messaging that they're doing, some of the things that they're keying in on. As an example, ESG is a topic, that we didn't even know what the hell that was 2 years ago. But now this is something that people are talking about. So it's staying ahead of the terminology, staying dialed into the events and conferences and stuff like that as it relates to the business, and most importantly, listening to our customers.
Absolutely.
That is the most valuable feedback, and it's free.
Right. People can actually submit, for those clients, you can actually submit a feature request to add certain features into our product, whether it's Zero Pro Mobile or any other platform. You can log into the client portal, and if you're not a client, you can log into the client portal, submit a feature request, and as Dan said, we're listening. So your feedback is definitely heard, and we work hard into getting what traders need into our products.
That's right.
So Danny, Could you talk about the company's cultures and values and how they shape the way TradeZero does business?
Great. So for me, for my partners, as you know, working
absolutely.
together,
Yeah.
we're family.
Right.
You know, and I think we lead with that. In a couple of instances in the past, it's sort of bit me in the butt, but for the most part,
Right.
I feel like it's really worked well. It fully aligns us with our people. I personally am invested in everyone who works here,
Right.
know their story, their family, and that's important to me.
Right.
You know, someone I know said to me one point in time, and I was talking to him about, you know, sometimes in the morning, especially in the old office, when I would go to get a coffee in the morning, it would take me 20 minutes just to go and get back to my desk
Right.
because I would talk to this one, that one,
Right.
this one. Well, Dan, that's not scalable. And if, you know, we're going to move on to bigger and better things, we need to figure that
Right.
out. And I was just like, nah, I don't think so. I think figuring it out in the way that we aligned with the way that we do things and how we've always done them is more of the
Right.
right approach. So we've tried to create a family-like atmosphere, a family-like culture. We do a lot of things together as a team and as a company, a lot of fun stuff
Right.
that we do. And so we just try and keep it light, keep it engaging, and keep everyone working together as a team.
Right, right. And it's a two-way street. If you care, I care,
Right,
right?
right.
And I saw, you know, I've been listening to some of the stuff that Elon Musk says in different webinars, and he was sleeping in the factory where, you know, regular people work and
Yes.
sleeping in the couch or on the floor for a couple of days, which tells you, you know, his work ethics and how he cares
He's
about
invested.
people. He's invested as well as you are.
Yep.
So that's great. And again, Adam and I and everyone love the culture. We appreciate you and the partners and everyone here.
And we
So,
love you guys.
I love you too. So how does TradeZero prioritize customer service and support? And what can traders expect when they reach out to our client services team?
We lead with the service and support. It was an important thing that we accomplished with my partners and I. In our last iteration, Noble Trading, same sort of thing. While we didn't have 24/7, the customer service that we provided was always live, was always
Right.
individual, was always personalized. So we wanted to maintain that. Again, the family-like atmosphere, you know, giving
Right.
that personal family-like touch
Right.
to our customers. So when they do interact with one of our agents, whether it be someone here in the States, someone offshore, regardless, the culture is the same. And we try and make our customers feel like they're part of the family, part of the team, where when we're talking to you, you're the only person that we're focused on
Yeah.
at that point in time. So all of the customer service is not a lot of self-help. People have questions, they can call us, they can interact with us on the chat 24/7. So we really try and keep the individualized and personal customer service experience as the thing that we do.
Right, right. So what are the biggest challenges facing TradeZero in the current market, and how is the company addressing them right now?
The biggest challenge I feel for the company is the macro environment. We have come off of what feels like a two-year party
Right.
with all of the free-flowing money. The government was printing money left and right, handing out checks to anyone who had a heartbeat and some that didn't. And it was great.
Right.
For a while, I mean, yeah, we were dealing with a pandemic, but if you
Right.
were involved in retail finance, there was no better time. We are now sort of counter-swung the polar opposite direction where interest rates are going through the roof, money supply is being tightened, and it's how do we figure out staying relevant in times like this? It is through education. It is through doubling down on the offering, on the product mix. We have launched crypto in a measured way to some of our offshore folks. So it's really trying to build the infrastructure of the company, some of the abilities that we're looking forward to having, like multi-leg options and complex options trading. So solidifying the foundation and
Right.
the offering so that when things do turn around from a macro level, we can't control, you know, that stuff.
Yeah.
But we can control how we're positioned for when things do turn around. Having done this, you know, for the majority of my life
Yeah.
at this point, while you're in it, it feels like things are never going to turn around.
Right.
But when you take a few steps back, you can see that, you know what, we're in a cycle and
Right.
and things, you know, will ebb and flow as they do, and they have.
It's the natural economic cycle.
Yeah.
Happen.
So-
Yep. So what, like, if comparing this to the 2008, 2009,
Yes.
where would you put our situation where we are right now at the end of 2022, from the market's perspective?
I would say that from our perspective, we're in a much better place because retail and the approachability of what it is we do
Right.
has now taken a new plateau. So a lot of people in 2007, 8, it was all over the financial crisis. It was all about them. You know what I mean? It wasn't about us. Where right now, I feel what's happened over the last couple of years because of all the things that I just said, the liquefaction of the economy and people, and there was no other live action in town than the stock market during the pandemic. It brought a lot of new people into the fold.
Right.
So I think from a recovery standpoint, 2007, 8 is going to look a lot different than it will today.
Right.
But I do feel that when things do turn around, there'll be a lot more people that are engaged with the markets than they were back then.
Awesome. Danny, so for just today, December 28th, 2022, New Year's is coming.
Yes.
Why don't you say a few words to our clients?
I will say, well, to our clients, first of all, I want to thank you. This was a challenging year, I think, for all, you guys, for us, for everyone involved. So I'm excited to turn the page, but it's not without thought and reverence over the year that just passed. A lot of good things happened this year. So I'm not totally discounting it, but I want to just thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting us, for sticking with us, and for looking forward to the next year with us. As we look to 2023, it's bringing in multi-leg options next year. It's bringing these other broker-dealers into the fold. And it's just continuing to make what it is we do that much better. So I'm really excited about it, and I think it's going to be a great year.
Thank you, guys. Happy New Year to everyone. Danny, I appreciate you coming. Thank you very much for your time.
Happy New Year, guys.
All right. See you, everyone, next time. Thank you.